Hi everybody, it's Tatiana and I am coming really quick to do a book review, and it is a review that I was not intending to actually do. I was just going to talk about it in a wrap-up, but no, that's not going to happen. It is currently pouring down raining and thundering, so you may hear that in the background. We're in a rainy season, which is why my hair is still like braided up and I'm not taking it down, because everywhere you exist right now in my city is humid. I am reviewing Judgment Road by Christine Feehan today. I think that's the name of the book. I've already returned it to the library. I returned it actually late because I couldn't renew it. The book is the first in her new Torpedo Ink series. For those of you who don't know, I love Christine Feehan's Carpathian Hunter novels. That is like my sideline reading material when I'm looking for something that's light and enjoyable to read that has to do with vampires. And I have been wanting to branch out into some of her other books, and I had not done that yet. And so when I saw this one was coming in, I was like, great, I could get in on the ground floor and see how much I like it, and I didn't like it. Very interesting premise. Torpedo Ink is a small motorcycle club. It is made of people originating from Russia who have made their way to the States. They, typical Feehan way, they have some kind of tragic background that brought them all together. They've been a family. The people in this club have been a family for many, many years. They escaped from a very horrific childhood, young adulthood, so there's like trigger warnings everywhere for molestation, rape, murder, abuse of all kinds just in their backstory, not to mention what takes place in the actual story where we're at when the novel begins. So the main focus of this novel is a character named Reaper, and if you don't know, Christine Feehan's series are books that don't necessarily have to be read in order. They're all companion novels, but they follow different characters each time, but there is some crossover with other characters. So you don't have to read them in order to get what is actually going on in the novel. What intrigued me about this novel, and I really did enjoy about the story, which I wish there was more of, was the behind-the-scenes work that the members of this motorcycle club are doing. They have like this investigative quality about themselves where they are going and rescuing people who are victims of sex crimes, sex trafficking, and they have this way that they work together in accomplishing that, and they each have their separate role that they play in that to help these rescue missions be successful. And I really liked that. I wish that there was more of that. That's what Feehan should have focused on. But of course, with all of her novels, there's this relationship aspect that takes place, and the relationship that begins in this novel is just such a horrible and dysfunctional relationship. And it's like trying to explain away why this character is so emotionally abusive because he's so damaged, but that doesn't excuse the fact that he's fucking emotionally abusive. And even the way that he goes about his sexual encounters with his romantic interests in the novel are abusive. I feel like this was Feehan's attempt at 50 Shades of Grey. In her kind of writing, because Reaper was so close. Like, there's one part in there that he says, I'm really fucked up, that in my head I heard like 50 Shades of fucked up, but this is her version of Christian Grey. And none of them are ever called by their given names, and it's easy to forget that they are supposed to be Russian as you are reading this novel, because the Russian of them is only in their names. So I have an issue with the fact that this whole thing is supposed to be these escapees from this horrible trafficker, molester in Russia, but the only connection between them and Russia is the fact that their captor's name was Sorbakov, because you don't refer to them by any of their names. None of them have a discernible Russian accent you learn as you're reading the story. And even as they speak in some of the dialogue, they have dialogue with clipped endings. So instead of saying darling, they say darling. That's country. That's southern. And they're living in LA or in California. coming from Russia. So those little inconsistencies bothered me, as well as some things that were very repetitive. There were times when Reaper was describing his love interest, and he would talk about her tits and her ass in one paragraph, and it's like 4 sentences in this one paragraph talking about her tits and her ass, and you flip the page, and it's 4 more sentences in another paragraph talking about her tits and her ass. And then that repetitiveness went on a lot through the story, which allowed me to really read it faster, because I don't need to, cause I have a very good memory when it comes to the description of things, especially when they're sexual in nature. So I don't need you to tell me 3 times in a row how great his ass is, or how big his dick is, or how nice her tits are, or how firm her ass is. There's only so many times I need to hear that. Having said that, as Christine Feehan is one of my favorites, and that's because of her Carpathian Hunter novels, paranormal romance writers, there are a couple other characters that were mentioned in this story where you get a little bit about them that I would like to see what their stories look like when she does them, because they don't come off as being as fucked up as Reaper was, whatever. That was a flash flood warning. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like I said a lot. We'll see what happens when it comes time to edit this, but I am going to go because I need to go check and see who's flooding. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good weekend whenever you see this video.